Have you tried countless times to get healthier, to work out and go on diet after diet after diet? Maybe you've done all the 6-week, 12-week, 30-day fitness or nutrition challenges. And after all of that, you still seem to see no improvement. Or maybe you have seen improvement. You reached your goal, but as soon as you did, you stopped. You stopped working out, went back to your old eating habits, and all of that weight that you lost came right back and then some. Now, if you answered yes to any of these questions, this video is for you. Being a personal trainer, I have worked with probably 100 people coming from all different walks of life, different stages, different experiences, different backgrounds. And through that, I have observed, and I've even experienced for myself, the things that keep people on track and the things that just don't. So for 2 episodes, I am going to share my tips for getting started on your journey to holy health, focusing on some do's and don'ts to keep in mind along the way. And each episode will cover 2 different parts of getting healthier. The first part being all about fitness, and the second will be all about nutrition. I am Coach Briti, an ISSA certified personal trainer and a precision nutrition certified level 1 nutrition coach. And in case you didn't know, you're watching Holy Health episode 8. I am going to cut right to the chase today, get right down into the deep end of the do's and don'ts of starting your journey to holy health. Now, if you are the type of person who doesn't want to do anything but lose X amount of pounds by so-and-so's wedding and call it good, I am about to push your buttons. But you will thank me later. I promise. Let's start this 2-part series off with fitness, since that is the easiest part of getting healthy. I am going to start with the negatives so we can finish on a more positive note. So, here's what we not gonna do. I love that song. Number 1, if you are just starting out or have been down this path before but keep falling back, do not start on a fitness challenge of any duration. Now, if you are a veteran and have been consistently working out for a year or maybe more, go for it. You have the habit built in already. I work at a gym where for the longest, we brought in clients by using a 6-week transformation challenge to get them started. And we lost most of them by the end of the 6 weeks. Because there is a difference between the ones that stuck it out past the 6 weeks and the ones that disappear by the end of that 6 weeks. And it is their mindset. And that difference in mindset brings us to don't number 2. Don't set end goals.
But Coach Bree, I thought goals are good. I like goals.
You didn't hear me, did you? I said end goals. Goals are fine. Little goals are fine. That lead to a bigger purpose. Fantastic. But goals that are something along the lines of,
I'm just going to lose 50 pounds for this wedding, and after that, I am going right back to my comfortable old self.
That's going to set you up for failure. Fitness isn't something you just do for a while and once you hit your goal, you're done. It is something you should be in the mindset of doing for the rest of your life. And I mean the rest of your life. Your body doesn't stay where you want it to. It will eventually go back to where it started most of the time. And I don't mean like when you were a teenager and you were a size 0. Like that's not that. I mean before you started your fitness journey, the thing that was like, oh, I should probably get this under control. that's where you will end up back. And most of the time, it will be worse. There is also a need to place an importance on your body composition. You can be skinny fat. Not all skinny people are healthy. If you have too much body fat and not enough muscle mass, your body will start breaking down internally and externally. And there's research coming out now that shows us that high muscle mass is one of, if not the best defense against chronic diseases, including cancers, diabetes, heart disease, and much more than that, I'm sure. This is evidence of God's divine design of a body that can naturally heal itself when it is fueled, trained, and used properly. We call that stewardship, ladies and gentlemen. When I started my fitness journey, I got a personal trainer, and believe it or not, I didn't even set a goal. There was no, hey, what's your goal before we get started? No, it was in my head, I just knew I needed to get started. Not hate doing it and keep doing it. I knew working out was good for me. At the time, I had no idea just how good it was for me. But for the first time in my life, I actually stayed with it. And now I am a personal trainer myself. So after a year plus of being consistent, I was able to start setting goals like I want to lose X amount of body fat and gain X amount of muscle mass and stuff like that. Because the habit was established in me. Now I'm addicted. Or really, it's that I have a desire to keep working out because it's the right thing to do for my good and God's glory. So instead of, I'm going to lose X amount of pounds by so-and-so's wedding and call it good, try, today I'm going to work out for 30 minutes. And then I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Or this week, I'm going to work out 3 times for 30 minutes each, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or even, I'm going to get a personal trainer today. That's your first step. Does that make sense? It's easy, simple, right? Number 3, don't focus on what the scale says. Oh my gosh. A lot of people will obsess over the scale that they step on every morning. They will start working out, and after a month or 2, they still haven't seen the scale move as much as they wanted it to. Then they give up. Or they train harder and harder and harder and burn themselves out and then give up. Or even starve themselves and damage their metabolism. And then they definitely don't see any progress. Listen, I just touched on the importance of body composition. If you are going to weigh yourself, let it be every 2 weeks. And find somewhere you can get a body composition analysis done, maybe every 1 or 2 months. At our gym, we have an in-body machine that measures your body fat percentage, your muscle mass, your water weight, and then it also measures like individual limbs, like your leg, your right leg, right arm, and your torso, so you can see if there's any imbalances that we need to work on. And the reason I say all this is when you build muscle, it is going to increase your weight. And when you lose fat, it's going to decrease your weight. Bear with me for a moment. When you do both at the same time, it can make it look like the overall body weight isn't moving at all, or at least not super fast. And that's where we're giving too much power to that overall body weight number, and it gets us discouraged every time. So fun fact, a pound of muscle is much smaller than a pound of body fat. So your body may be changing in a positive way, but the scale is just not showing that. So that's why you need to do a body fat analysis or a body composition analysis of some kind every once in a while, just to make sure you're on the right track, that things are moving in the right direction. Anyway, number 4, don't believe everything you see on social media. Oblique leans are not going to make you wider, and strength training won't make you bulky. Well, that second one is more my mom's generation, but I think it still applies today. Regardless, I just said a few seconds ago that muscle is smaller in size than fat. Not to mention, you would have to train and eat like a bodybuilder in order to look like a bodybuilder, which is not sustainable for the average human being. And no one is asking you to do that. Another popular thing that floats around the fitness world, specifically targeting women, is using waist trainers. Well, I am here to tell you that waist trainers are a waste of your time. You aren't losing any weight any faster by squeezing your torso into this small little thing, right? Making yourself sweat more in your stomach isn't going to burn fat in your stomach any faster. Also, you're really just restricting your core from doing the work it's supposed to do of protecting your spine. And ultimately, you just weaken your core or keep your core weak, and your spine suffers and you raise your risk of injury. So, and by the way, your core is not just the front of your stomach, it's also your back, the muscles that surround your spine, holding it in place so that you can do any everyday average movements like bending down to pick something up, or ladies shaving their legs, stuff like, or putting lotion on. Yeah, and I mean, of course, it helps in the gym too when you're trying to do a deadlift and trying to hit that PR just because it makes you feel strong. Like, you're gonna hurt yourself if you keep wearing these things and then you go out into your during your workouts, and then you go out into your daily life and your core is like, I'm used to something holding me up. I can't, I need something to hold me up. I can't work. And yeah, anyway, this reminds me, number 5, don't buy into the lie of target exercises. There is no such thing. Your whole body needs to move and be strengthened in order for you to see any full body changes. And ladies, we store fat, yes, in our lower belly, in our triceps, or as my mom likes to call them, our chicken wings or auntie elbows, and in our hips and our thighs usually. This is natural. So for most people, which I haven't been disproved on this yet, you start losing fat from your face all the way down to the rest of your body. So it takes time to get to the places you want it to get to. Sometimes your arms take longer. Sometimes your legs take longer. Sometimes that stubborn belly fat takes longer and your arms and legs are doing great. But just be patient, okay? It's not a marathon, or it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Also, you should probably stop giving attention to those infomercials with these crazy out of the box exercise equipment that target stubborn belly fat or arm fat. I mean, do y'all remember the shaker weights? How are your arms looking now? Huh? How's the arthritis in your elbows and your wrists? Oh, it's so goofy. It's like, wow. And then the little machines that just vibrate. I don't think much is happening there. I think you're just shaking your body to death, preparing for an earthquake, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, honestly, be careful what you see on those infomercials. Number 6, don't give yourself excuses, or better yet, don't give in to your excuses. Everyone has a lot going on and it's crazy busy. You are not special. You cannot tell me that you don't have at least 30 minutes 2 to 3 times in your week that you can't spare for a quick workout. I mean, just wake up 30 minutes earlier or go straight to the gym after work, crank out the fastest workout of your life, and then get home. I mean, you can also do your toughest workouts on your days off. I mean, working out is like a natural antidepressant. It boosts your mood and it helps you feel less stressed. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to work out on your day off, or even squeeze in a light workout when you get home, or before you get home, or early in the morning. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. It's going to help you feel better, work better, and be a better human being overall and feel less stressed. I mean, look at it this way, okay? If you don't stay healthy and stay moving, one day you won't be able to make it to work anyway. You won't be able to go to that super important social event, or more importantly, you won't be able to make it to your kids' baseball games or dance recitals or even your grandkids' stuff. This isn't just about you looking good and even feeling good. Yes, that is a benefit of it. This is about making sure that you can be the best functioning human being that you possibly can be for as long as you possibly can be, so that you can be there for your children, your grandchildren, and anybody who might need you. It's not a bad thing to be needed. And honestly, as Christians, it also means that we can serve the Lord and his kingdom in whatever way he so calls us, without hindrance. Be ready and be prepared for God's calling on your life. You have choices and you have control over what you do with your time, talent, and treasure, your body being one of the many treasures that God gives you. Your body being the thing that your talent comes out of. Your body being the thing that does stuff with time, that uses time. Take it seriously, okay? And you can't tell me you look forward to a day when you are immobile or stuck in a hospital and your children have to push you around in a wheelchair and say hi to mom or dad sitting in their hospital bed all the time, right? Do you want to even watch your own parents and grandparents go through that? I mean, I don't think so. I don't like watching my grandparents go through it now. Even my own parents are going through stuff. And I'm like, I don't want this for my kids. I don't want them to see me go through this. I don't want them to have to push me around in a wheelchair. And I don't think you would want to either. So, okay. Enough of the don'ts. We don't like rules. Well, they aren't rules. They are helpful tips to set you up for success. And I don't know, maybe light a fire under you, because you can do this just as you can do these. Here's what we are gonna do. Number 1, do set a small daily habit goal that you can build on every day. Start with something like, while I watch an episode of The Chosen, or whatever your favorite show is, I am going to do 100 body squats. I will do this every day this week. Or I am going to work out for 30 minutes on Tuesday and again on Thursday. Keep it simple, make it small little bites, and for crying out loud, just get started. Number 2, do, if possible, make a consistent weekly workout schedule and make sure nothing touches that time. You're going to have to say no to things, okay? I have many clients who do get stuck at work and then they have to reschedule, but because they have a trainer that expects them to show up and will check in on them, they still manage to make it to their reschedule instead of just being like, well, I give up, I'm too busy. And then I do have other clients whose work schedules are ever changing and they still make it work because every week they sit down and they go, I should be good on this day, and this day. Schedule, right? Making sure, the point is they're making sure that no matter what, they are finding a way to work out. And you can too, especially if you don't have anything that makes your schedule inconsistent. If you can afford to work out on Monday, Tuesday, Friday at 8 a.m., then set that schedule and don't let anything touch it, okay? I mean, 2 to 3 times per week is a great starting point. So don't worry about 5 days, okay? Number 3, do get a personal trainer and or accountability buddy. Personal trainers are not cheap, I know, but it's an investment worth making if it means living a fuller life for longer. Side note here, I was in Bible study the other day. We've been going through the book of Revelation, and this time we were in chapter 17 talking about Mystery Babylon, a city, basically to sum it up, where there's a lot of lusting after the things of the world, sexual immoralities, and like stuff like that. And desiring youthfulness and beauty and all of this stuff. Similar to our world today, we started talking about that, how we can lust and strive to stay young as possible for as long as possible with like anti-aging solutions that are actually very toxic for you. It's another conversation for another day. And being obsessed with being healthy and trying to extend our lives as long as possible. And when I say being obsessed, like you can strive to be healthy, but if you think that being healthy is going to extend the days of your life any more than God intends, nah. Which is what was brought up, that God only is the only one that knows how long we will actually walk on this earth. And so I obsess over these things. And we can't add a day to our life by worrying about how long we can make our lives last, right? But that doesn't mean we just throw up our hands and give up and do whatever we want with our bodies. No, God's word says in 1 Corinthians 10:31, therefore, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. And all that to say, if we are going to prioritize anything in life, especially when it comes to finances, also a gift from God, maybe spending close to $1,000 on eating out and entertainment would be more wisely spent toward a personal trainer and whole nutritious foods that you can cook at home. Also, think of the medical bills that you won't have in the future. You also have the option of calling up your best friend and saying, let's get a gym membership together or a personal trainer and get consistent about working out. Just make sure that best friend is someone who will tell you the honest truth, help keep you accountable, and listen, is not just as excuse driven as you are. Okay? It takes two to stay motivated, but it takes only one to tear the whole house down. Number 4, do go for daily walks. You can start first thing in the morning, walking for 15 minutes at a brisk pace to get your heart rate up. You can do this again after lunch and then again after dinner or after work. Take your dog with you if you have one. The point is to gradually build up your walks to longer periods of time, longer distances, more steps. Eventually you want to get to a point where you're getting 10,000, 12,000 plus steps a day. And if you sit at a desk all day, this should already be a priority. Keep yourself moving as often and as much as possible. And if this regimen that I just mentioned for you doesn't work for you specifically, find one that does. Going on walks at any point during the day is really good to help you decompress and de-stress. And as Christians, it can be a time that we spend with God in prayer. All right. Number 5, do continue your workout schedule even on vacation. Oh! A lot of people will be going strong on their workouts, and then they go on vacation and just never touch the gym again after that. And this is because they got out of the new routine and got back into their old comfortable routine. And let me tell you, it is the temptation of your old comfortable ways that get you if you don't continuously and intentionally fight against them and resist them. So working out on vacation doesn't have to be anything too strenuous. You can lighten it up a little bit, do a ton of walking, and if there's a gym in the hotel you are staying at, use it. And if there's not a gym available to you, body weight workouts are just as effective. Your ultimate goal on vacation is not to strive for your goals, it's to maintain what you've already done. And also to maintain your weekly rhythm so that when you get back from vacation, it's so much easier to pick back up where you left off. Trust me. Number 6, do start today. Don't wait until Monday when you are going to forget and say, I'll start next Monday instead. And wash, hand rinse, and repeat. Get a gym membership, start looking for personal trainers, and in the meantime, while you are binge watching your favorite show after a long day of work, or even while you're watching this video, start sitting and standing over and over and over again until you've done it 50 to 100 times. Go for a walk as soon as you wake up tomorrow, or even tonight when you get home, or right now while you're listening to this video. And at the end of the day, if you start now, you will leave no time to talk yourself out of it. And you will already be on your way to accomplishing your first goal of getting started and staying consistent. All right. Number 7, we got to polish this off with the perfect number from the Bible, number 7. All right. Do continue to work out even with an injury. Now, if you have an injury that completely immobilizes you, like for instance, I herniated a disc and was pretty much stuck in bed for like a week or two, that's a little bit of a different story. Might want to wait a while and go see what a physical therapist could do for you. However, ankle sprains, arm breaks, leg breaks, knee injuries, shoulder injuries, elbow or wrist injuries, they can be worked around. I have ran into so many different injuries in my own life and while working with others as a trainer, and I always find ways to make sure that a workout is possible. An example would be like if someone came in with a sprained ankle, I would have them sit down on a box or a bench or even lay down on a mat, and we would focus on upper body and core strengthening mostly, while we would take a lighter approach to maybe their ankle, maybe do some, like, I call it physical therapy style workouts, or whatever their physical therapist tells them they should do, or their doctor, just to kind of rehab it a little bit, and get so they can get back on their feet as soon as possible. Regardless, injuries are not an excuse to give up. They are an opportunity to learn something, get stronger, and get better. When I herniated my disc, I was confined to my bed for 1 or 2 weeks, like I mentioned. And then once I got to physical therapy, I actually learned so much about core bracing and the importance of training the muscles around my spine so that I could stable throughout any movement. Like I said, bending down to pick something up or doing an actual deadlift. I mean, it was a humbling and learning opportunity for me that I am very grateful to God for. It sucked, yes, but praise God anyway. I pray that these do's and don'ts don't scare you away, but encourage you and give you hope that getting healthier is possible and doable no matter what situation you find yourself in. Now, if you do have any do's and don'ts that you have come across on your own, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll kind of sift through and maybe I'll make a follow-up video just to kind of share some more based on that. And if you got anything out of this video, please like it, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell notification so you can stay in the loop on all things faith, fitness, and food. See you in the next video where I will give do's and don'ts when getting started on holier and healthier nutrition. Grace and peace, y'all.